Review of the game. It was a tale of two halves. I thought we started out well offensively in the first half. Defensively didn't show up. I thought we got better there in the second half, and offensively went through a just a struggle there. And then to be able to get in overtime was a miracle. And then had an opportunity in overtime, had a 3rd and 15, I think, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7. They converted, and then we couldn't convert. So I'm disappointed because I think we had opportunities in the first half to really get a big lead, and we couldn't get a stop defensively. And then there in the second half, we had some opportunities to score a touchdown there late. Had a couple drives and just couldn't take advantage of it. And so, it's 2 weeks in a row where you've put yourself in a position to win a game, and we're not good enough to win it, which is frustrating in key situations and big moments. And so you turn the page. La Tech has got a tremendous defense. A tremendous defense. It's kept them in a lot of games. That's going to be a big challenge for us. They're going to be very similar defensively as far as just the way they play physically to Missouri State. And so it's going to be a big challenge for us from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they've had to rotate a bunch of quarterbacks, had some injuries. I think they might have had another one if I'm not mistaken. And so they play fast, a lot of tempo. And so we're going to have to do a good job of getting our cleats in the ground and making sure we're aligned and not getting beat by misalignments. Obviously, it's a huge game. You mentioned bowl implications. We're up against the wall, backs against the wall. We got to win, or we don't have the opportunity to go. They're in the same situation that they've got 2 chances to win, to get bowl eligible. And so it's a big one, and our guys understand that.
Feels like in big moments. I remember Christian Bodner mentioned after the game that there was some communications issues on defense a little bit. Have you noticed in big spots? I'm sure you do, but without Justin Carter out there, you notice that there's some communication issues. You notice that there's some kind of extra things you're missing out on, maybe on some of the big situations that are causing other teams to extend drives, maybe come up with like game-winning drives and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do think we've had some challenges where we beat ourselves because of whether it's a lack of communication, whether it's one person saying one thing, one person saying another, and you've got within your scheme, there's flexibility of your secondary to be able to put themselves in a certain call based off alignments and all those things. And so you got to do a great job of communicating. And I do think there's times there where we haven't communicated. As part of that because Joe's not out there. A guy that's been doing it for a while, maybe, but also we played 2 games without him. And so that can be an excuse. End of the day, you guys got to do their jobs. Coaches got to do a better job of making sure the communication's there. But there were certain times where maybe we had a miscommunication that led to a first down or a big play or something that extended a drive or some of those things. We didn't have any. In overtime. They just we just didn't do a good enough job there.
On the 3rd and 15, was that what happened there with Stone converted late in the fourth quarter?
It wasn't necessarily miscommunication. We had a call on. They motioned, and when they motioned, CJ blitz, which he was supposed to. We were supposed to have a little bit better alignment. Probably not the best call, Coach Krantz. I tell you that. He probably wishes he had a different call on. And so once they motioned, we just didn't do a good enough job of getting hands on people. We were playing a 3 deep basically, and you got to get some hands on guys. Guys got some free release. We didn't get enough depth underneath. And this big play, obviously, you feel like you get them off the field there. You got the 2-minute warning and the whole opportunity to go down there and either get a field goal or score a touchdown. So that necessarily wasn't a lack of communication, more of a technique.
What about the 4th and 6 on offense, where you guys ended up taking the delay of game and kicking the field goal before 2 minutes? Did the play call come in on time? Did he lose track of the play clock? What happened?
Yeah, well, we did not. We were going for it. We did not line up properly originally. Got everybody lined up and getting ready to take a timeout. But time-wise, we had like 4 or 5 seconds, and it looked like he was going to snap the ball, so we were fine. And then he decided last second he wanted to change the protection, and shouldn't have, and ended up not needing to take a timeout because I thought we were getting. It looked like we brought motion. It looked like we were getting ready to snap it, and so probably should have just took a timeout when it all. We weren't aligned properly right away, but I felt like timeouts were a commodity at that point as well. So you're thinking, hey, we're going to get this off. We like the call we had on, and so then that forced us obviously to have to kick the field goal and not go for it there. So, hindsight's 20/20 on that one. But I felt like it looked like we were getting ready to snap it. We watched the video again. It looked like we were going to snap it, and then he thought, oh, somebody's coming. He was changing it, and then he lost time, and I didn't get a chance to do the timeout.
So that was the intent. You wanted to snap it there.
Yes, and we thought we were. It looked like we were getting ready to. We had like 3 seconds, and then he stopped to sort of point out, and then the time ran out, and I didn't get a timeout in time. So that was a disappointing sequence. Really, what was a disappointing sequence leading up to that? We actually had an opportunity about 3 plays before. We had a guy they cut loose wide open for a touchdown. They just didn't cover him, and we couldn't secure the pocket enough. We had to scramble out. We ended up getting a first down. I think it was to Jacob, the long play to Jacob, guy wide open on that. They busted the coverage, and we've had a couple of those where we've had some guys they cut loose, and we just, for whatever reason, whether it's protection or something other, we've not had a chance to make those. It's been one of those. It's been one of those last couple of games where some of those plays come at your way. It could have been huge, and we've just not won our way.
Sitting here at 4-6 with 2 weeks left, I'm sure you'd say it's been a disappointing season. What would you say kind of the main things you'd point to this team kind of underperforming this year?
I would say that we're not in big moments. We don't show up, for one. Like we've had opportunities in key situations to whether get them off the field or extend a drive, and all we need is a play here or there, or maintain a block here or there, and we've just not. And our better players have not played in the big moments when they need to. I think secondly that you have to play this game with a precision, the details of a precision, and everything that you do throughout the week matters. Everything you do matters. And I think that our guys have got to understand that the way you practice consistently, all those things, the energy you bring here, it matters when you're playing. Everybody in this league is basically evenly talented for the most part. Not when we first got here, maybe not, but now that the portal and all that, everybody's getting their best players taken. So your talent's never going to be enough. You better have a detailed mindset and some of those things. And I think that has caught us in some situations where some missed assignments in key situations has led us to where you have a chance to. I mean, let's look at the last 2 weeks. You start out terrible. You win 3 in a row. You're 4-4. You got two opportunities in the 2 weeks ago to get 2 first downs and try to have a chance to win the game. You fumble one, and then the other one we come up a yard short, and then obviously can't get a stop. And then this past week, I thought offensively started out well, and we didn't show up defensively, and then we sort of settled down, and we had an opportunity on that last drive where first down at the 20 or something like that, I think, with under 3 minutes to go, and don't make some plays, and then had a 3rd and 15, doesn't make it. Miraculously getting overtime, and you have opportunities there to hold them to a field goal, can't do it, and then we obviously had 2 opportunities there to get a first down or a touchdown, and actually had a couple guys open, we just couldn't get them the ball, and so those are detailed things that I don't necessarily think it's scheme wise and some of those things. Yeah, there's ways to improve there, but I think that's the end of the day. My job, I didn't do a good enough job with this group of making sure that we were detail oriented each week.
You mentioned the last couple of games with Missouri State and last week. Ethan kind of struggled in big moments. I'm sure that's kind of a lot of the big thing. What do you want to see from him in the last 2 weeks, particularly with the Louisiana Tech defense being really good? They're obviously really good against the run, so that kind of plays against one of the parts of this game. What do you want to see out of him, in these last 2 games that would really look like progress as far as the last?
I think a couple of things is one is consistency in play. Like if you put together a highlight tape, there's some good things where he's done some good things, and you can put together some things where, hey, why are you doing that? And so consistency in play, and then 2, don't let the the pass rush, or maybe we struggle here or there. Don't let that affect your play. Right? Does that make sense? I think as a quarterback, there's so much you got on you, and you got to worry about what you can control. And I think sometimes when other guys maybe aren't doing their thing all the time, you can't let that affect your play. Does that make sense? And so those are 2 areas he definitely needs to improve on: taking care of the football and just the consistency each week. And sometimes, as I said, some plays, like one of the plays there versus FIU early in the game, he throws a 3rd down. He got 3 guys in his face, and he throws an unbelievable ball to Tyson on the sideline. I mean, great play. But then they're in the 4th quarter, the curl or whatever, throwing the ball behind the ball, just you throw it away, right? The experience piece of he's played some football. He needs to handle the use that experience that he does have in a better way. You know, I think he's put so much pressure on himself to make every play, and that's hurt him.
Mentioned Louisiana Tech's defense. What do they try to do to you on that side of the ball?
One, they're a robber team, you know, similar to Delaware and Old Dominion. They play it differently. They're big, they're fast, and they cause a lot of havoc. I think where they really are good is they're obviously good in the box, but their secondary is probably the best secondary in the league. So they can sit on routes, they can play man to man, so they can control the line of scrimmage, and they force you into where they're really, really good, which is trying to throw it with some of their guys, and so they do a good job of that. And so you got to be simple in what you do, and you got to know where they're coming from to make sure that you don't cut guys free.
I know Liberty's never played in Russ, and I don't know if you have before. How challenging is it to maybe go to someplace new, just logistically speaking?
You have to stay. You know, you got to stay about an hour and a half away, which we've had to do that before at other places. That's never easy. But I haven't been there, and so anytime you have to drive a decent amount of time on the game of the day of the game, I think that's hard. You know, 30 minutes, 45, okay. Once you get over an hour, it really throws off your schedule. There's a couple of places like that 2 or 3 places you play that you have to do that in Conference USA, which is unique. But at the end of the day, it's a game. You got to go win, you know, and you got to find a way to figure it out. So whether you're staying 5 minutes away or 15, or whether you got to go play your best. So it'll be not being there before, just trying to find the layout. You know, as a quarterback and players, you look where's the play clock, where's all the stuff you want to find out that's new, so you don't make mistakes of looking at that. And then besides that, you know, you go figure it out.
I know we talked so much last year about locker room culture. This year, how much better it's been. At this point in the season, what are you seeing from these guys? You know, 2 days after this, you know, these last couple of games, and is this a group that's still believing they can get to a bowl game here?
Yeah, there's this group has been good as far as that mindset, as far as staying together. I've been pleased with that. You know, there was obviously disappointment after the last 2 weeks. You know, that where it should hurt. You know, and it did hurt. But they've not shown anything that they're still not fighting. They still don't want to get it done for our seniors and for this university to get to the bowl game. So I expect us to go play and fight and do well. I don't expect us just to throw the ball out and say, "Here, sorry, you know, we're 4 and whatever, and we're gonna hang it up." I don't expect that at all. I'd be shocked if that happened, to be honest with you. I've been shot before, so you know. But I don't believe this is the group that has that in them. I think we've got guys that want to get that done. Now we got to go play to win, you know, and I mean play well. We can go have a strong culture and all that, but if we don't play well, it doesn't matter, obviously, you know. So you got to play well and have that. And so if you have that and play well, then good things happen, right? So. But I expect us to fight for it. I think we got a good group in there that wants to get that done, and they'll give everything to make that happen.